Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most powerful of them all?
If it's a fairy tale you're hoping for, prepare yourself for so much more.
You will train, you will harden, you will become my huntsman. Hi everyone, so I have been dying to share with you this collaboration with Glambyroxy for so long now. This is an incredible collaboration that is actually for a giveaway. It will finish on October the 31st, so anyone can enter. It is open internationally. There will be 2 winners. To enter, all you have to do is follow each of us on Instagram and on YouTube and tag 3 people either on mine or her page on the collaboration pic that will be posted. There are some really cool prizes that you'll be able to see on our Instagrams, so definitely go check this out, guys. I'm so happy to bring this to you. Glambyroxy is an incredible artist. I'm going to have all of her links below. As you can see from this, her work is just phenomenal. She does so much more. She's way better than me at beauty makeup and eye makeup and eyebrows, and so good. So please go check her out. You will not be disappointed. I began by painting myself white using water-activated paint, using my usual method of rubbing it in with my hands, spreading it thinner this time than I usually do to create a very pale skin tone. I figure if I'm as pale as I am and live in Australian sun, then she must be even paler living in the snow. Because I didn't paint myself using opaque white, I can then go in with a white grease paint to highlight on my cheekbones, my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and my forehead to create some more dimension. I use my fingers for this because I still, oh my god, do not have a sponge. I will get one day, I swear, but it worked out okay, it just took a little bit longer. So because grease paint doesn't dry, you're then going to need to set it with a powder. I didn't have any white powder nearby, so I used a really pretty silver eyeshadow, which actually turned out really good and gave a sort of glistening, icy look to it, I think. But I accidentally picked up the blue eyeshadow beside the silver, and that is why that is on my chin, which was really frustrating, but it's okay, we moved past it. So for contouring, I took inspiration from icebergs and glaciers and all that jazz. So when you look at them, on the surface they're sort of white, but then the deeper the cracks go in, you can see more blue. The deeper, the darker the blue. And so I started this with a light blue, shiny eyeshadow to keep that sort of icy feel on it. And I used that in all the usual contour areas, and then once I was happy with that, I used a darker blue, but I didn't blend it out as far, so keeping it more concentrated in the deeper spots. I hope that all made sense. So for this look, I attempted to do one of those cut crease eye makeup looks, and I was actually really happy with how it turned out, and I was so excited to show you guys, and then I realized I wasn't recording it. But you're in luck, because the person I did this collaboration with, Glambyroxy, has so many amazing tutorials on her Instagram and YouTube on how to do this type of eye makeup. She is way more talented than me at this. So if you would like to know how to do this and better, I suggest going and looking at her social media because she is the bomb. So getting back to things that I actually did record, I then did my lips with a blue lipstick and some purple and silver eyeshadow, just patting it out and mixing it until I got that frostbitten feel that I was going for. I began painting my chest the exact same way I did my face, by painting it white, just that really thin layer of aqua paint, and then I used the grease paint to do my collarbones and my neck tendons, and then of course I set that with the silver eyeshadow and just did some light contouring around it with the blue eyeshadow. The idea with the chest was to have these windows cut into the skin that reveal underneath she is part owl, so she has the owl feathers underneath in all those rows. So I began this by using just white paint on a thin brush to mark out where I wanted the windows to be. I then filled in the windows with a foundation brush and white aqua paint, so more opaque than the rest of my paint that I used, and I just did that in sweeping motions to try and create a feather shape. But once it dried I couldn't really see where I'd created the shapes, so it didn't make that big a difference, but it did help create a sort of uneven texture underneath so that it wasn't really smooth like feathers wouldn't be. And then on to lots and lots and lots and lots of shading. So using black eyeshadow on various brushes, I shaded around the feathers in the windows, creating a shadow onto the feathers to make it look raised. I also tried to create a 3D sort of perspective thing on one side of each of the windows, which you can see. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm sure if you look at it, you'll understand what I mean. And then once I'd shaded around each of the feathers, I also shaded a line down the middle because they were sort of looking a little bit like scales, and just putting that line down the middle sort of made it look a bit more feathery. The last thing I did to make them look more like feathers is to literally feather out the edges of my feathers. So using white grease paint on a really small brush, I just went along the edges of each one and just flicked it out to create that sort of pattern around the edge, which I think made the greatest difference and sold it a lot more. Once all the feathers were done, to make the windows look raised and just add to the illusion, I went around the edge of each one with white grease paint and then just sort of blended it out a tiny bit with my finger. And then also with some of that blue eyeshadow, I contoured around them, leaving a gap between the contour and the actual window, just around the very outer edge, not in between them. And then that's almost it. So with all of the makeup and body paint done, I then applied my gorgeous wig from Uni Wigs that they sent me. I've done a full review on this already on my channel, which I'll put in the description box below. I really suggest going and checking that out, and definitely go get one for yourself if you can, because they are just gorgeous. I do have a discount code for this company, which is included in my review video, and I will also put in the description below. Then to finish off the whole look, I applied my mask with some Prozaid. I've gotten a lot of questions about this mask. It's obviously inspired by the one that she wears in the movie. I made this by cutting the plastic from a binder that you just get at any stationery store. I cut it into lots and lots and lots of little feathers. It took me like 3 days to do. Then I used super glue to glue them all to a piece of Glad wrap or cling wrap, depending on where you live, which I had on my face cast. And so once they were all glued together, it was really flexible and they all moved really well. But obviously it didn't stay to my face without some sort of glue, so I just applied a really thin layer of Prozaid on the back and then just held it on my face until it stayed. Thanks all for watching, and I really hope you go and enter this competition. I'll have all of the details in the description box below. Have a great day, guys.